Hello everyone to a plug and play, I guess Minicast. We will be discussing, as you can see in the background, some Darksiders 2. I'm Matt. With me as always is Tyler.
Hello.
Hello. How was your day?
It was a little on the dark side.
Oh man, that was terrible.
Okay, good night everybody.
But yeah, as you can see the footage in the background, Darksiders 2, we're going to be talking about it. I've played maybe up to this point 13, 14 hours of Darksiders 2. I guess I'm almost near the end. I can't really tell. My guess is I'm like 2/3 through. So yeah, we're going to discuss it a little bit. What is your familiarity with the Darksiders franchise, Tyler?
Well, I bought the first game on Amazon for like $7, just cause really. And the thing is, I've heard a lot of like really good things about it, and the more I hear about it, the more I want to play it. But I just haven't really had the time to like get around to it and actually sitting down and playing it.
Too many other games.
Yeah, just every time I want to play it, some other game catches my attention, and then I just forget about it.
Well, now's like the perfect time because not much else is out until like Borderlands.
Yeah, if I can finish the other games I have basically on my backlog before then, I might dive into Darksiders 1. But everything,
I mean, it's not overly long.
no, I could probably just power through it. But everything I've heard about 2 sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, I think it's a major improvement in every way.
So how does 2 differ from 1? Like, what are the major different changes?
Well, like you know, 1's pretty much a straight up Zelda clone.
Well, Zelda among other things.
Well, I mean, the most obvious one is Zelda. Like, it's got the, which it still has in this. It still has like the puzzle-solving chime, and all of that. The way it was structured was heavily influenced by Zelda. It had Z-targeting and all that, and a lot of that's still here. Like, Z-targeting is super important.
Do you get pieces of heart or whatever they're called?
No, it's just straight up levels.
Oh, so your health just increases with the levels?
Yeah, like the bar or whatever stays the same. You don't get more health bars. You just get more health when you level.
That sounds better.
Yeah, if you see, I mean, you're not watching the video, but people watching the video, you see 3 bars in the top left. The top one's your XP bar, middle one's obviously health, and the bottom one is Wrath, which is from the first game. That like lets you do all your special moves and crazy nonsense. But I'd say the biggest way it differs from the first game is the structure of it. It's, I guess the best way to describe it to people is Darksiders 2 is the game that Kingdoms of Amalur should have been.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big open world. It's got super fast fluid combat, much like Amalur did. It's got a whole bunch of side quests. There are dungeons, but a lot of them are optional, just like, you know, your traditional big RPG. But everything is interesting. Like, it's the Kingdom of Amalur's biggest problem was that none of the side stuff was interesting. While pretty much all the side stuff in this is, at least from what I've seen, is pretty interesting.
That sounds good. Hopefully, unlike Kingdoms of Amalur, the publisher for this game can stay in business to make more games.
Yeah, I've been keeping track of THQ's stock, and they haven't really been plummeting, but it hasn't really gone up either, which kind of worries me. But the game seems to be doing well.
Yeah, they're kind of on life support right now. I mean, if this game does well, and if Saints Row number 4 does well, they can probably
the next great
turn
sequel in the
things
Saints Row franchise.
Yeah, they should just keep that title.
They should. But anyway, yeah, the combat in this game, speaking of Amalur, which I guess it was praised for its combat, the combat in this game is so great. It is so fast, it is so fluid, it's so responsive. While, like, in the first game, I know you haven't played it, but I felt like there's a few times where I dodged, but, like, I thought I dodged, but the game told me I didn't and all of that. I haven't really experienced any of that in this game. It works so well.
Well, the videos I've seen in the first game, and just you playing it, it seemed like it kind of favored the animations over like the button input, so
yeah.
Like it kind of felt a little sluggish. Is it like that in this?
No, like there's been a few times, like even the other way, where I felt like I should have been hit, but I got out of the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the animations are definitely crazy, and there's a lot of cool looking attacks and all that, but it seems like it's favoring more what you should be doing as opposed to what's showing up on screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, but speaking of the animations, in the first game there's a lot, you know, it's a 2-button combo-based system. But I feel like in Darksiders 2, there's a lot more visual incentive to pull off different combos, while in the first game a lot of the combos visually just look the same.
Okay.
Yeah, like there's... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, are the combos more fleshed out, or it's just kind of just hitting buttons over and over again to like just make it more effective.
What do you mean? Like, are certain combos more effective than others, or?
Well, like, do certain combos like do moves that you wouldn't normally be able to do, or just do the combos kind of just doing set moves over and over again? I'm
still not sure what you mean, but anyway, yeah, you have like your basic. If you just mash the button 4 times in a row or whatever, if you just mash, if you literally just mash the whole time, you'll be doing the same combo over and over. But a lot of the combos are timing based, so if like you press the button twice and then delay and then press a 3rd time, that'll start like it'll branch the combo off in a different direction. And also you can combo between your 2 weapons.
Okay, that sounds cool. I heard there was a lot of loot in this game.
There is an insane amount of loot. The way it works is like each weapon has its base stat, like either attack damage or defense, depending on whether it's armor or weapon. And then there's a whole bunch of secondary stats, like more defense or more like crit damage or whatever.
Alright.
But yeah, there's a lot of different stats.
Okay, so does this game feel more like a straight up RPG, or just feel like an action adventure game with RPG like tropes?
I feel like it hits the middle ground pretty well, because there are a lot of RPG things going on between all of the loot, and the loot is colored by rarity, between the leveling system, between like the skill trees and everything, but it doesn't play like your traditional RPG.
Yeah, the combat's more geared toward like an action game.
Yeah. Which I think applies to like my Amalur comparison, because that was like sort of the same thing.
Alright, see, I like that, because basically any game that puts RPG elements, especially leveling in a game, like I automatically like it more.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the progression's there.
Yeah, I can definitely feel myself getting stronger with the better gear and the more HP and everything.
Alright.
Yeah, it's really well done, the RPG stuff. It doesn't feel forced like it is in a lot of games. It feels like they actually took the time to flesh it out.
That's good news.
You can actually spec your character in a certain way if you want to.
Alright. So, $1 million question right now. Is Mark Hamill in this game?
No.
Ah! No sale!
Nope.
No sale,
Nope.
sir.
Well, if you played the first Darksiders, you would know why.
Yeah, that makes sense. Are there any other famous voice actors?
The dude who plays Death was from some movie that I think is remotely famous. I don't know. But the dude who plays Jorah Mormont, I can never pronounce his name. The old bear, the leader of the Night's Watch in Game of Thrones. He's I wouldn't say your guide, at least not the point that I'm in the story, but he guides you through at least the first zone, and he's a pretty important character.
All right.
So they have some decent voice talent in here.
Okay. Is there anything else you think the viewers might need to know?
Yeah, the game does have its fair share of issues. I'm playing the PC version.
Okay.
And that doesn't have any PC options at all.
Yeah, I heard there weren't a lot of graphical options.
No, there's not. VSync doesn't work.
Huh.
So,
that's not good.
Like, you're gonna need to force it through your driver if you're playing the PC version.
All right.
Also, Vigil talked about they promised initially an INI file, which for those of you who don't know is just your config file. You pretty much open it up in Notepad and it has a whole bunch of options like AA, VSync, all of that, and allows you to just go in and edit a text file to edit all your options. And in a recent post, they apologized for not including that, and also said they didn't promise again. They didn't make the same mistake twice, saying they were going to get it in, but they said they were going to do everything they can to try and get those extra graphical options in there.
Well, that's nice of them. Did they give a reason why it wasn't in there?
I think they pretty much said they couldn't get it done before the game came out, so they just cut it.
Oh.
That was the general gist of the article I read.
That's a shame, but at least they're like being upfront about it.
Yeah, and I mean it's a decent port otherwise. The game runs on pretty much any machine. It runs great. It looks good. I haven't really had maybe crashed on me to desktop once. I haven't really had it lock up or anything. So other than that, it's a decent enough port. It's a straight port, but it works.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any other like gameplay specific questions?
Do you ride a horse around?
You get the horse right at the beginning.
Do you get to ride it later in the game?
Yeah. As long as there's an open area, you start the game on your horse.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Does your horse have a name?
Despair.
Is that the same? Is it the same horse as the first game?
No, the first game was Ruin.
Okay, so the way they're changing the characters, they're also changing the horses. That's cool.
Yeah, like in the first game you got a pistol and that was Mercy, and in this you get Redemption, which is actually the pistol of one of the other horsemen, Strife.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, everything's got stupid one-word names.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
I think I'm alright.
I think this is a basic little intro to Darksiders 2. If I had to pick one game to compare it to, like I said, Amalur. It's also got a lot of Prince of Persia in it, as opposed to Zelda. It's got a lot of wall running and nonsense like that.
But that appeals to me.
Yeah, it actually works really well. It's really easy, like one button, you can like run along. You don't have to like do fancy button combos just to run along walls.
All right, that sounds like makes for a good game.
You should play this game.
I'll get to it.
You should play the first Darksiders.
I know.
Also, the pacing is a lot better, but that's an opinion thing.
All right.
Yeah, like for example, at the end of we're running a bit long here, but the end of the first Darksiders, some of the puzzles weren't difficult, but I was just like, ugh, I don't feel like doing them, and I haven't run into that at all. Like they're challenging, but nothing that is too crazy.
Yeah, it really sucks when like there's a puzzle where you feel like you should know the answer, but it's not obvious, so then you just hit a wall.
Yeah, it's not like that, and it's not like God of War where the puzzles are in there just so they can say they have puzzles.
Yeah, to break up the action.
Yeah, and they're really easy. Like these, if anything, the action is to break up the puzzles, but it flows really well together.
Okay.
So that's a brief little Darksiders 2 minicast. More Darksiders 2. I'll have a review up soon, hopefully. Hopefully I can get it out before Guild Wars 2 comes out, and that sucks up my time.
The race is on.
Yeah. Check out plugandplaygaming.com. We will see you next time.
Bye.